Hi everyone, welcome to MUN 101 session online. Thanks for tuning in to see what we've got in store today. My name's Julia. I'll introduce myself. My name's Julia. I am a graduate student part-time at Memorial, which means that I already have a degree under my belt, which means that I know a lot about Brightspace. I also was a TA, a teacher's assistant and a graduate assistant for a few semesters. So I not only have been a student, but I've been uh, in the professor's mind, if you will. And I kind of know a little bit more than the average person about what they might be expecting, what they can see and not see through online learning. And yeah, I just kind of want to share some of that knowledge with you. So let's jump in. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna first let's not delay it anymore. Let's just go right on over to Brightspace. I hope that you can see this. Okay, I got it. Okay. I have not used Zoom. My organization uses Google Meet, so bear with me. Okay, so this is Brightspace. You get to this by going first to like the MUN homepage. I'm sure you've logged into Brightspace at least a little bit. So these are your courses. I only have one course right now. This little blue icon, if it's ever orange, there's something that you need to pay attention to there. Same with these. If you have discussion boards, when you have discussion boards, your notifications for those will show there for any ones that you're subscribed to. I'll get into that in a little bit more. If you have any mail, it'll be here. I'll go to my course mail just to show you that quickly. That's where you get notifications about files that you've submitted. So we can see in January, last time I was in class, I submitted something, and that's where you get your notification for that. So I'll just go back home, and I'm just gonna walk really quickly through my course and just show you kind of the different tabs and what might be important and what might be less important. So the most important thing, if you're a first year or you're new to university or what have you, the most important thing is your syllabus. That is literally like the guide to the semester. Study it, know it, highlight it, take notes, know your syllabus, and you will be way better off for it. So usually, that's the first thing you need to find in any course. Go to that. It'll answer hopefully a lot of your questions. Profs are notorious for not updating them semester to semester. So you might see stuff from fall 2019 and you're like, that's totally irrelevant because the world is totally different. But bear with them. They're doing their best right now too. A lot of them haven't taught online before, so everyone's doing something a little bit differently. But for my course, I've looked through my syllabus. I know that we're going to be doing lectures through Webex, which is in the communications tab. It's very similar to Zoom or Google Meet. So I have a lecture tomorrow morning, Friday morning at 10. So I'll go into the Webex at that time to see what my prof has to say. I also know that my prof is awesome and knows that a lot of us are working full time, like myself. So he's told us that he's going to be recording those sessions if we can't attend. And in that case, he is going to put them in our weekly seminar slots. So I already know that I'm going to have a video there after the lecture tomorrow that I can go back and read or listen to. So that took me into the content when I clicked that. In your content, you're going to have, now every prof, I should preface this, but every prof does this a little bit differently. In an ideal world, they would do it kind of similarly to my prof. I have a really incredible professor this semester. I'm really lucky to have his class. So it's a good example, but bear in mind your Brightspace might not look like this. So kind of the highlights, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritties of what everything looks like. You should have a table of contents. You'll have important dates. You can bookmark stuff by just pulling down on this tab. Normally it would work, and you can bookmark it to go there. And then the really important part about this semester especially is this 0%, 0 of 1 topics complete. That's because, and you can see that black dot there, I haven't looked at this yet. If I go into my syllabus, you can see there was no black dot. I've already gone in and looked at this. The important part about that is this might count towards your participation. And something as simple as just opening a file and completing viewing it could be your participation grade. So you want to make sure that you know what your professor expects of you, which is going to be in your syllabus, and that you do that so you get the grades. The other thing to mention about your syllabus is that is essentially a contract. So any dates in there are they're final, right? So that's important to know from your perspective, but also from your professor's perspective. I know it's, again, a weird semester where you're probably not going to be really traveling for Thanksgiving or whatever, but if anything comes up and your professor says they need to change something in the syllabus, always remember that the syllabus that you start the semester with is a contract. And if you have any issues that arise, for example, your professor changing the date of an assignment, making it earlier or whatever, that first contract syllabus that you get is the one that you need to go by. So if you get into any issues, that's that's your holy grail. So I'll leave that alone. If you have any other questions, you can email me after, and I can try and help however I can. But completing your topics, again, it depends on what your professor is doing, but that could be really important to getting your participation grades. Course home, that's always going to bring you to the splash page. Sometimes professors will put announcements on this page. Usually you'll get an email as well when they post an announcement, but if you're bad at checking your email, you can always look at here in their announcements. I highly recommend checking this before any class. If you're going to be an excellent student, I would check this every day for every class, just because you never know, you don't want to miss anything. Yeah, so that's your course home. Course content, that's where you're going to get everything, all the files that are uploaded. I just went through that. Communication, that's going to be big this semester, I think. Your discussion boards, Webex, if you're in a group, let's go there. I'm not in a group for anything this semester, but this is where, this is my section. Okay, great. So I can go in and I can see all the students' names in my section, and I can email them. So you might be put into a discussion group or a lab group or something, and you'll find that there. Instant Messenger, if anybody's online in your class, you can DM them through Brightspace. I wouldn't do that. I would recommend getting their Facebook and doing it that way. Yeah, you figure that out. Discussions are probably going to be the biggest thing this semester. I don't have any discussion groups right now because I haven't started my course yet, but it's basically just like a chat room kind of thing, but the professor can see it. The professor can see which ones you've seen, which ones you've interacted with, where you've commented, and how much time you've spent doing so. So some of you might say, well, if they see how much time, I'll just leave it open. Be reasonable with it. Don't just leave your thing open for hours and assume that, be smart with it, but they can see that kind of stuff. Changing your subscriptions is really important. If you're someone who thrives over emails, make sure that you have emails being sent for everything maybe. Or maybe you just want summaries, or maybe you just want specific things. So always, always, always make sure that your notification settings are on and in a way that's most effective for yourself. Under the assessment, this is where you're going to see assignments. This is where most of you will probably be submitting your assignments. Mine are submitted through email, so I don't have any here to show you. But if you had an assignment folder, it would say, week 1 introductory paragraph. And this is where you would upload it. And then there would be a column saying files uploaded. Once you've uploaded one, it'll say 1 of 1. And then if the professor is really good with Brightspace, it might even show your grade there. If it doesn't show your grade there, it'll show them under assessment to grades, and then your grades will all be listed here. Some profs don't do this until the end of the semester. Some of them do it all throughout. You'll just have to figure that out along the way. However, I would definitely suggest if you have a prof that doesn't update this frequently, create an Excel spreadsheet to track your grades. I'm a business student, so I can do that quickly, but if you need any help, there's lots of stuff online about how to calculate your grades. I think there's like a website, grade calculator or something like that. So just keep on top of it so you know where you are in the class. It's not like high school where you're going to progress report always. Some profs do that, some don't, most don't. So you'll want to make sure that you know where you are if you have a certain grade that you're trying to achieve, which, I mean, we're all trying to get A's, right? So anything else you might need would be under here. If you have an online quiz, that would be under quizzes, pretty self-explanatory. If you need any help, there are some sources here as well. I'll let you explore those based on your programs. The other thing I want to show you, if you go into your name here, you can change some of your information. So you can see that I have a photo. Where it's an online semester, I would really recommend adding a photo. That way, you know, people can identify you well. I'm bad with names. I do faces better. So notifications, that's where I was telling you, make sure that this is adjusted to what you like. And of course, you can get the app as well if that works for you. When I'm a student, I usually like to get a blast every morning before I start my day. You know, what's due, what's going on, anything that I missed throughout the day yesterday, so you can have a summary at any time of the day. So just take a look around there, and that'll get you started. All your courses can be found here. You can pin them, so now that course will stay there. I don't have very many courses. I have one, so that's not really helpful for me. But if you're taking 5-6 courses, or you have a course for your a page for your course and for your lab, you'll probably want to integrate something like using the pins. So that's Brightspace. It's very easy to use. It's also very annoying sometimes, but the most important things to recap would be syllabus, read it, know it. Profs can see how much time you've spent looking at materials and if you've looked at them at all, and make sure that your notification settings are the way that you'd like them. Okay, I'm gonna go into some other stuff now. Okay, we did that. We went through discussions, big part, and grades. Of course, you want to know how you're doing, but again, use grade calculator if your prof doesn't update that. Okay, so MUN self-service, I don't want to log into mine because there's personal information in there, but MUN self-service you can also access through the MUN website, and there's a few different things that you're going to want to know about this. For the main menu, the most important one I found was, okay, yeah, so this is just kind of your contact information. So you want to make sure that's up to date. Start, you know, it's not going to change. I would recommend keeping your home address, like your parents' address, just if you're moving around throughout your time at MUN, you don't have to worry about it. The student main menu is where it's more important. So this is where you register for courses. So you've obviously already been in here because you're registered for courses, you're in your first semester, everything is going great. It's also where you'll apply to graduate eventually, and where you'll pay for your schooling, and where you can see your grades. So financial information. You can pay by credit card. So this is where you would go in through financial information and you would get this. You can see your account summary. Make sure that you're not paying for anything that you shouldn't be. Make sure you won't have to make sure that they're charging you for something they're not charging you. You know what I mean? Your T2202A information, you'll need that come April for taxes. That's also where you find it in financial information. Poke around here. There's lots of helpful resources. Where we can't go to the registrar's office, emailing them or calling is also going to be very slow but helpful. So try and find it yourself here or ask a upper year student. I'm always down to help if you have questions. And there's lots of other people at Mosaic who would be able to help you as well. Okay, so going into some campus resources. Obviously, it's online. You can't go into the writing center like you normally would, but you can submit your writing center request online. This is the link here, but you can kind of just Google Writing Center MUN to find this information. And this is what they want you to send them. You know, all of the information about your assignment, about you, about what you need, where you came from, like your high school, when you graduated, and what you need help with. I always, whenever I use, now I didn't go to MUN so for my undergrad, so it might be a little bit different, but whenever I use the Writing Center, I found it most effective to have a little bit of my paper done. At least have a thesis or have an idea of the goal that you're trying to achieve at the bare minimum. That way you can really make the most use out of the Writing Center. But it's definitely an underused resource on campus. At least it was at Dallas. So use it. It's awesome. They're super helpful. Use the Writing Center. It's the best. Okay. There's also, let's see what this link is. Right, if you need a tutor, if you're struggling in a class, totally cool. University is hard. There's also tutors that MUN can connect you with, but there's also lots, if you just kind of poke around, like if you're in a Facebook group or something, they'd be able to help you there as well. Student Health Center. It is still open. If you're away from home and you need to go see the doctor, or you're in nursing and you need to get a TB test, or whatever you need, there's a student health center on campus. They are open for in-person appointments, but also for virtual appointments. So again, if you just Google MUN Student Health Center, you'll get all of the information there. I'll take you there quickly. But basically, you know, it's a doctor's office. It's your basic, whatever you could need from the doctor, they'll be able to help you with. So if you don't already have your campus card and you're wondering, how the heck do I get this? I can't just walk into MUN like normal. They'll mail it to you. So it's all through the Student Services tab, and you request your card. They'll be mailed to your home address. So like I mentioned earlier, if you say you live in wherever you live and you're in St. John's, it'll be going to your home address. So you'll have to get it forwarded to you or whatever. But yeah, that's a really important thing to have. Gets you lots of discounts, which is always a good thing as a student. The bookstore, how are you going to get your books? Well, it's open. It's probably one of the only things on campus that are open. They really, really urge you to check online before you go in that your item is in stock. If it's not, it can ship it to you once it comes in stock, or you can order for curbside pickup. You have to go to the pickup window inside, but always make sure that they have what you're looking for before you actually go in. And of course, wear your mask. And they're asking you, I'll just say this, they're asking you not to go into the bookstore just to buy clothing or merchandise. Just go in for your books only. You'll have 4 years to get a MUN sweater, don't worry. Although I get it. The one of the last things that I want to say is that on Monday, there is a town hall at 1 o'clock. It'll be through Brightspace. It'll show up as a my course under your courses as a. It'll show up as a course, and that'll be a way to see what's going on. You're a new student. It's a great thing. It's also an opportunity to have your voice heard. If you have questions that haven't been answered in your first week of classes, this is a great way to ask your question in a forum kind of place. That was forum, not foreign. Sorry, I mumble sometimes. I'm trying really hard. Okay. What else we got? Oh yeah, the most important thing, Mosaic Campus Church. So this was updated now. So it's online this week, but we're in person next week. On campus at St. Augustus, the church over by the works. It's awesome. It's going to be a little bit different from normal church, of course, because COVID, but it's Sundays at 7. It's a really good time. We focus on loving your campus, exploring the authentic spirituality, and just, welcoming everybody. So come on in, and I hope to see you at Mosaic on Sundays at 7. Come say hi. My name is Julia. If you don't know anybody, now you know me. You can come say hi, and I will be nice. Obviously, everyone's nice there. Okay, I think that's it for me. Yes, that's the end of my presentation. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. I hope this was helpful. If you have any, always go to your professor. They'll be helpful. But yeah, I hope you're excited about your new adventure at Memorial. It's going to be a great time, and yeah, let's get it.